Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or should I say konnichiwa? Liverpool are closing in on the signing of Endo. He is on Merseyside right now. He's doing his medical today. Um, yeah, we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about Endo, what we know about him, what he could bring to Liverpool, what Liverpool still could do next in the window. And to talk about it, I have got Elliot and Shigz. Elliot, how are we, mate?
I'm good. Ready to get into it. I'm sure we've all got contrasting opinions.
Yeah, I'm sure as well. And Shiggs, what you saying, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm well, bro.
I
I'm well. I'm geared up. I'm ready to get stuck into this.
I can't see comments on my StreamYard, but I've got the stream open on my phone and I can see the comments. I don't know why. Hopefully they come through, but I can see Ali A's in the building, Foran and Ubdo. Hopefully they come through. Shiggs, do you know if anything like to fix that? Do I need to leave and come back in, or
You might need to leave and come back in.
it's not going to end the stream, is it?
Is it because I've got it as well?
Wait, can you see the comments, Elliot?
I can't see the comments, but I'm on the host thing, aren't I, as well?
No, it won't be to do with that. Yeah.
Oh. No, there's nothing you can do then. I don't know why.
We'll leave it for now. If hopefully they come.
Maybe people aren't feeling Endo. Maybe that's why.
We'll talk. We'll get into it. But guys, make sure you check out our podcast sponsor, Your Foot Card. Link in the description. As always, use discount code TAT Pod for 15% off. And as you can see, the brand new EAFC cards are now on the site. All new design. They look absolutely amazing. This Champions League one here, unfortunately, there won't be any Liverpool players in that this year, but there'll probably be some informs along the lines. And obviously, we've got some Liverpool icons on the game, such as Kenny Dalglish, Steven Gerrard, all of those guys. So, yeah, check them out. Link in the description, TAT Pod at checkout for a 15% discount, and Shigz is playing the drums, and it's really putting me off.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all good, bro. Johan and Kerry is also in the building. I'm really annoyed. I can't see comments on StreamYard. I don't know what it is. If StreamYard's down, I don't know, so I can't get them on the screen. But if it fixes itself, guys, I'll start getting your comments up on the screen. But please make sure you smash the like button on the way in. That is a massive help to us. There's 58 of you in here so far. So please do that for us. It really helps the algorithm. It pushes this video out to all sorts of different people. So yeah, that would be a massive, massive appreciation. Let's hear from Elliot, because me and Shigz did a stream last night. I already know Shiggs' opinion. I don't think it's changed overnight. But Elliot, we were just speaking off air, mate. I think this news, it's fair to say, shocked everybody. What was your initial thought when you saw the news yesterday? And what are your thoughts now? Have you seen anything during the day that's made you think, okay, could be a player there? Or are you still a bit shocked?
I mean, I was shocked. It could have been anyone. And my first thought was, what on earth? Because it just came out of absolutely nowhere. I think that's probably the best thing about this transfer, is that Liverpool is still capable of that after the absolute public shambles that we've seen with Lavia and Caicedo. So it's very good that we saw like Endo out of absolutely nowhere. And then my first thought after that was, what on earth is York doing? And to be honest, this is not a go at the player. I still think that is my thought, is because it's almost just, for me, is like they've got this late on in the window, and it just feels like there's a little bit of, no, I don't want to say panic just yet, because my anticipation is a big one still comes to the door, which I think if that had already happened, the whole opinion on Endo would be totally different. But I don't know. I feel like there's just a bit of a panic getting into the window. It's his form. I think it's York's former club. He's got a year left on his deal. He's 30 years old. You probably want. Listen, the 30 years old thing can be argued both ways, experience, and you want a younger one in to get better and progress. But I don't know. I think the 50-50. I think the player will be fine. I just think the deal is still kind of underwhelming. I think Endo will be fine for Europa League. He'll be fine for the cup games, and as long as there's another big one that comes in, I mean, we'll have to just wait and see, though. This Ben's not. Yeah, it's just me and you, Shigz. But I don't know. I don't know what your opinion was.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
Hey.
Wrap up and we'll go into some comments.
Yeah, no, I'd wrapped up. So go on, Ben. I don't know if
brilliant. You told me off air anyway. I know what you're saying. We can get some comments, guys, before Shigz goes and kills the whole positivity vibe.
I'm not killing anything. I'm just giving my point of view, bro.
Ali A says Hendo to Endo. Listen, He's got a point. We need listen. We need a Hendo figure in this team, man. Big up Ali. He's always in the streams. Foran says, "Can you guys talk about the latest updates on Doucoure?" 100%. That is coming. Second part of the stream, we'll talk about that. Need a DM. Well, we've got one on his way, and we'll probably, hopefully, get another one as well. Chill, guys. It's not the Endo of our transfer business.
Oh, that's
for
poor
Georgie. Hello, everyone. Hello, Johan. How are you doing, my friend? Kerry Phillips. I feel Endo will be a good signing. Listen, I actually agree with you there. I do understand people's frustration and underwhelming mentality, but I think for what I've seen from him today, and I've done a lot of watching like different
YouTube,
yeah,
YouTube compilations.
Not even just that, like reading up on the player. Sheiks, why is it right? Every single player you've seen, every single journalist or expert I've seen, like that has actually watched this guy play, raves about him. You go on Twitter, you find people that haven't watched a single minute of him play say that he's terrible. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I'm not.
You could go in a minute. Endo official today. Mohammed says, hopefully we'll see. Hopefully it'll be official when we're streaming. That would be nice. Underwhelming signing, but I will support him. Doucoure next. That is the question on everyone's mind. Hamza says, good evening. Kerry says, has Endo completed his medical? I believe he was doing it earlier, so more than likely, unless he's Fekir 2.0. And Georgie says, what do you think about the price? The price, we will get into the price in just a bit. And there were a lot of comments, guys. Massive shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. Your support has been absolutely mental this month. I can't even express it. We've had so many views and likes and subscriptions, so massive appreciation to all the regulars coming back to the streams. And obviously, if you're new, stick around, subscribe, drop a like, all of that good stuff. So, Shigz, go on, mate. Everyone just sit back and relax because I feel like Shigz is going to go on a rant.
Look, all I'm going to say is at the beginning of the window, this is not the type of this is not the profile of player we was looking at. Like, my disappointment is that over this whole transfer period, we haven't been decisive in what we're doing. It feels like a very scattergun approach. And you're right in what you were saying earlier about the whole, it came out, Elliot, what you were saying is it came out of left field and they've kind of got the job done. I just wish they had this same kind of movement in the other deals that we were trying to do to get over the line. Like, okay, Lavia, could you imagine if they'd moved like that, this for Lavia? They would have got him. And them getting Endo in afterwards, like to what you said, Ben, there wouldn't be this much hysteria. But it's because the lack of urgency in terms of getting the other deals done and being very scattergun in their approach, that me included are very underwhelmed with this Endo guy. Now, like you said, he could go on to prove to be an absolute quality player, but as it stands at the moment, I don't feel he's the guy that's going to take us back into the top four. Maybe someone like McAllister would do that, but I'm just like, okay, if they don't, hopefully they get Doucoure and we'll discuss that later. But I don't know. I reserve judgment on this guy. I'm like you said, like I said before, I'm not.
But that's the point, Sheiks. That's exactly the point. What you've just said there, reserving judgment. I said yesterday I tweeted this out. I cannot judge this transfer until two things have happened. One, until I've seen him kick a football in a Liverpool shirt. Because we've had so many players like this that have gone on to be like cult hero type of figures. Like, it happens. And
yeah, but I'm scared it's going to be
Sorry.
No, but I'm just scared that he's going to be at $500,000.2.
Yeah, I get that, Shigz. But what if he comes in, he does a job, and he does help us get back to top four. He helps us win an FA Cup or a League Cup, and then all these bums online, I'm sorry, I have to call them bums, that just, as soon as a player comes in that they're not agreeing with, just melt down because they know he's going to get clicks. Like, then what are they going to do then? Are they going to apologize? Of course they're not. Of course they're not. So
I'm not melting. I'm not melting.
No, I know you're not. I'm not talking about you. But what I'm saying is I can't judge him properly, right? I've seen very limited clips of him play. Of course, there might have been a couple games in the World Cup where apparently he was very good. I've seen a compilation earlier of him playing against Germany. Absolutely bossed it, by the way. An amazing Germany midfield as well. So until he's kicked a football in a Liverpool shirt a few times, I can't judge this guy. Second of all, until I've seen what the plan is for the next step in the window, by all means, if this is us done, if this is our solution to missing out on Lavia and Caicedo, melt down, call out the manager, call out Schmadkus, call out the owners, call out whoever the hell you want. But if we get this guy in and then move quickly for Doucoure, which we will get onto in a bit, then I think you're looking at McAllister, Szoboszlai, Doucoure, This guy's a backup DM. I can't, like, obviously I can be mad at the way it ended with Caicedo and Lavia, of course, but that midfield rebuild for me is not a bad one. So they're the two things. Until I've seen him play for Liverpool, and until I can see what the plan is for the next couple of weeks in the window, then I can't judge this transfer.
So what would you? Okay, then. So if we come to the end of the season, what for you would make this signing a success in your opinion?
So if we get Doucoure in, and he's the main DM.
Yeah.
And then you bring this guy in, Endo, who will play mainly Cups, Europa League, coming in every now and again in the Premier League. That kind of figure. We can't rely on him. He's 30 years old. There's no sell-on value there. So even if he comes and balls out for us, that no one's going to buy him in the future. And I think, and I said this yesterday, I know everyone's got their own opinions on the owners, the manager, the director that we've got at the minute. I don't think they're stupid enough to know that we can sell Fabinho and replace him with this guy. I just don't think that. How can they think that would be acceptable in any way? So, as far as I'm concerned, until I can see that that's what happens, if they do think that and they've got rid of all these players and this is who we bring in as the DM, fine, I'll be melting down too. But I just have a strong feeling somebody else is coming in. I that's all I can think right now because the price, and we'll get onto it, low fee, low wages, there's money in the bank. It makes sense to bring somebody else in alongside this guy.
Yeah, okay. Look, again, it's just very, I sound like a spoiled kid, but it's just very,
I fully get it. I fully get it.
I feel like, you know, like I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like when you would build it up to Christmas because you thought you was gonna get something, you know, you go and open your presents, and the thing you wanted weren't there. That's what I feel like.
I'm not gonna lie, Cheick. So I don't want to be that guy, but most of the time I got what I asked for last year.
Nah, I didn't. I was a little rascal.
Christian family, mate. We all love Christmas in this household.
Yeah.
But Elliot, coming to you, Georgie asked a question, mate. What do you think of the price tag? And I think this is a big talking point because he's a 30-year-old with a year left on his contract. He's not had experience, 15, 16 million with add-ons.
Is that how much it was?
I think
that's not that bad though.
Based on appearances or achievements, I'm not sure what they are. But yeah, Elliot, what do you think of this, mate? Is this a fair deal? Is this something that you think we've overpaid for, or?
You can argue both. I think this is the thing with this transfer, and that's why I got so bored of it immediately. Not bored of the play because I think he'll be fine, and I look forward to him making like the balance in the midfield. I think that's the most important thing. We're just bored of it. Everyone just going at one another, and because there's so many debates, there's no one. You're not going to find a winner. You're not going to end having a go at each other to like find the common ground. Because you can argue that it should cost less than 10 million because it's 30 years year left, but then you can argue the market is an absolute disgrace. So it's an absolutely fair deal, and I'm leaning towards that. I think the markets are awful, absolutely awful. So I think an experienced midfielder who was absolutely loved by Stuttgart and they will obviously want the money. They want as much as they can get, as every team, but especially when he's meant to be a key player. I think it's more of a fair deal than it is an unfair deal. So I don't really have any problems with that. I mean, maybe my thing is I've just jumped at it straight away. It just goes back to my earlier point, is why I just feel a bit underwhelmed with the whole thing, is because I feel like there's just a bit of a sense of panic and needing to get someone in, which there is a need, but like, to me, it just feels like they've jumped at him, which if they think he's good enough, which we'll have to wait and see, is fine. But I just feel like that if they haven't like tried to negotiate it, because they should have been trying to do it 6 weeks ago. That's my only thing with it. So maybe the price could have been down much more if they tried, and if they knew they wanted to bring someone of experience in, do it 6 weeks ago, negotiate for however long before the season starts and get the price down. But that's just going over the top and probably a different problem with the transfer compared to the actual price. The price seems to be fine.
Yeah, and Shigz, I was saying to Elliot off camera, we've let go of 6. Everyone's quick to put that out. And before Endo, we'd only signed 2. So people were saying like, oh, we need more bodies. We need more bodies. We know how the club is. We know how it's run. If we were going to replace the 6 that went out with 4 or 5, I think it would be 4, they're not all going to be able to cost big money, are they? One of them had to be a cheaper option.
Yeah, and one thing that you have to do, you have a certain budget. Even though we went in for Caicedo with that amount, you have a budget when you're to spend. So, and to be honest with you, the 15, 16 mil how much did we get for Henderson? I think it was like 12 mil or something.
12, yeah. So it's probably
So it's
a going rate, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's not. We haven't got our pants pulled down over that.
Henderson's 3 years older as well, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, well, there you go. So it's not. It's the fee. Like Elliot said, the market at the moment is a mess. So it's not for that amount, for that kind of player and the age. It's not a mad fee. So hopefully they can keep at least another 90 grand to go and get Doucoure and maybe a centre back, but we'll see. But like I said, it's not bad business in terms of that.
It just makes no sense for me. You've flashed 110 million to the entire world. The whole world's watching this club right now. Every move we make, the club knows how much money we've got in the bank. For the solution to be a 15 million pound player from Stuttgart.
Well, that's not possible.
Wrong with that for me.
It's not possible that can be the case. And if it is, then everyone can go into form.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. I think I completely understand the way where people are saying, like, oh, the Aldridge it's wrong. I get it. We would have all loved to have seen like a bounce from the failures of getting Caicedo and Lavia. We'd have all loved the statement signing to come this week. But maybe that's just going to take another week or so if that is what they're planning. And
just
looking at these games, I'm thinking we've got to go to St. James's Park on a week on Sunday, right? With no DM.
What would you? The only thing I was asking is, what would you class as a marquee signing for Liverpool? What would you class as? What would it need to be in order for you to say, oh, you know what, they pushed the boat out on that one?
To be fair, I hate that word. I don't know.
It's so difficult to judge.
So do I. But then, is it the reason I ask? Is it someone that will come to do the job, or is it someone like, oh my god, I can't believe we've got this player? Where do you sit on that?
I think obviously Caicedo or Bellingham.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
They're marquee, yeah. I think Doucoure. It's a weird one because he's not I wouldn't say like the name is a marquee signing, but the fee that we need. The fee that we're gonna have to pay is what you'd pay for a marquee signing. So it is a bit of a strange one. The reason why I did quickly respond and tell you that I do hate that word. I don't know why I used it, to be honest. It was just, my point was that that's what the fans wanted to see after the failures of getting Caicedo and Lavia. The word marquee signing, to me, I think people are quite obsessed with it. Like, you see people on Twitter calling for a marquee, oh, where's a marquee? Where's a marquee? I'm happy if there's never a marquee signing, to be honest. As long as we get the players that are like those 40, 50 million pound players that we've had the absolute most success of bringing in, that's fine by me. The one occasional marquee signing every 3 years, I'm happy with that. As long as we keep bringing in the right players, the right fit for the team, which just begs the question now, because we tried it with Caicedo and we failed. So the next one has to be a pretty good one, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't argue. You can't argue with that at all. I mean, I think marquee, it's a strange way to like judge, because the core, it has to be like big money, doesn't it? That's the thing. You can't go and sign like Robertson. You could 8 million. He was a marquee player, but he was never a marquee signing. So it's difficult to judge it. But I think if it's a big money and a player that Liverpool need, I think there's the argument for marquee. But Doucoure is not on paper a marquee signing, because he had a very good season at Palace, but not really, where people outside of probably Palace was stood up and watch and go, oh my goodness me, compared to like Caicedo. So you can't really call him a marquee, but he'll have to be marquee for Liverpool. I think that's how you can probably judge it.
Yeah, I seen do you want to go on the back of that, Shigz, before I pull this comment up?
Yeah,
go on then.
The problem is with Doucoure, and I know it's gonna happen, as soon as he has any type of bad game or any type of thing, fans are going to be on his back. I don't think personally that they're going to give him much of a grace period. And it's a shame, because it's not his fault.
It's just social media, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to give him a chance. To be honest with you, I'm neither here nor there with him. We just need a buddy that's going to be able to run around and help McAllister and Szoboszlai be in the positions where they can affect the game at the top.
Can Endo not do that?
That's the main thing.
Can Endo not do that?
I don't know. The only reason I'm saying I have more faith in Doucoure to do that is because he's done a good job at Crystal Palace last season. So I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
The Bundesliga is not really a good indicator. Well, Kanate is coming from the Bundesliga.
Mate, I've seen a complete split. There's no in between. You either succeed or
yeah,
you
this
flop.
is the thing.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, well,
Endo probably needs to be in between, doesn't he? Because
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he can really be a flop
look,
for that price though. Like,
no, exactly. It's a fine. Like, I keep using the word fine because I can't really get anywhere past it because everything about it is fine. It's just the way it's gone. It's just the way it's gone for me.
Yeah.
Go on, Shigz.
Yeah, no, but you're right. For me, it's just he doesn't need to do anything spectacular. Stop attacks coming and just keep the ball rotating. That's it. And just be alert because on numerous occasions against Chelsea, the one ball and the attacker was out running at our defense.
We've seen it so many times, time and time
again.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping whoever it is, whether it's Endo or whether it's Doucoure, they're the ones that are playing in between the lines so that those balls are cut out, or there's a little bit more of a challenge whereby someone's on Sterling's shoulder or someone's on someone's shoulder before when they're running back, rather than them having a free reign running at Kanate or running at Virgil. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, just before we continue, guys, there is 66 of you watching right now and only 25 likes. Let's get that up to at least 40.
Get them up, people.
That'll be a massive, massive help for us on the channel. I just want to put up a comment. I'm going to actually go and check this video out after the stream, to be fair. Redbird says, big up Redbird, by the way. The Miyake man on YouTube is a Japanese LFC fan. He knows his football, and I'm telling you guys, we'll be buzzing after listening to him as he's followed Endo closely. Endo is going to be a beast. And this is what I was saying earlier. Every Bundesliga expert, everyone that's actually seen the guy play has nothing but good stuff to say about him. It's only people on social media, and I completely understand it. I need to keep reiterating this. I understand how people are underwhelmed. I really do. I don't expect people to be jumping up and down. Like, oh my God, we just signed Endo. Like, I completely understand that. But what I never do and what I will never do is just think a guy can't be good for us because I don't know who he is. I've got to give him a chance. And I know as soon as he puts on a red shirt and steps out onto the pitch, everyone that I know, like in real life, not on Twitter, will give him that chance 100%. Like, no one I know will write him off or have an agenda.
I'll give him a chance.
You've got to.
That goes without saying, doesn't it?
I'll give him a chance. Look, hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised, but I'm just like Elliot said, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. But let's see.
Of course, and that's fine. But let's look at this before we move on to Doucoure. I just want to bring this up. These are his stats. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay. So this is from the Bundesliga last season. So most possession won in a defensive third. Most aerial duels won, 219. Apparently, this guy's an absolute beast in the air for his height.
Yeah.
Most clearances, most headed clearances, big. Those balls coming over the top for us. If this guy's in DM, that's a big start. Second most touches.
Is this in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, Bundesliga. Yeah. Second most possession, won middle, final, third, and second most tackles. And you look at the quality that they've got in the Bundesliga in midfield. They actually do have a lot of good players there. And people act like the Bundesliga is some dead league. Most clubs now are looking at the Bundesliga for their midfielders. We've done it time and time again. Naby Keita, Thiago, Szoboszlai, and then obviously Kanate for centre-back. So it obviously is producing a lot of good talent. And now you're looking at these Endo stats. And Elliot, I know, look, we have to keep saying, like, obviously the underwhelm element to it is fine, whatever. People can be entitled to that. But when you look at these stats here, surely this is only going to be a good thing for us.
Yeah, no, I do agree. The underwhelming part, I don't think it needs to be reiterated. I think you can say it like once or twice and just go, listen, yeah, it's underwhelming because if they signed Doucoure last week, everyone would be going, oh, great, we've got a backup. So it's completely like that. It's just context is so important to these transfers. So I think there's an underwhelming because it's taken so long for Jorg to like maybe do his job, like because we only started Caicedo negotiations like last week. So I think maybe if we'd done this like a few weeks before the season, it's fine. There's no underwhelmingness, but I just think the way it's gone. But the stats, I think is interesting. I mean, maybe I'm doing 2 + 2 getting 5 from this, but the possession-based way he plays, I think, is more really interesting in terms of like a pivot with Trent, if that's possible. to like be much more, because what I thought from the Chelsea game was like it wasn't either or with the systems. It was like a mix of both, and it just at times did not look great. So with the way Endo, I've got attacker metrics up. He's like I think it's one of the best or successful passes in the opposition half, and then just key passes. And he's 5'10". He's not like a destroyer, but he's like a nitty-gritty type of midfielder. So I think there's something there in terms of properly stamping down that pivot. And I'm really intrigued and interested to see how that goes, because he is good going forward compared to probably you would say Doucoure. Even though Doucoure's got nice passing stats when he was at Lens, at Palace it wasn't really the case. So I think there's a bit of a way of going about it in terms of you've got two different options, if that makes sense. Not just two destroyers and we just alternate. There's a different option for a different opposition, and I think that's really important the way they've gone about doing this, because them stats look really nice. There's some percent houses quite low for the defensive midfielder, but that's why I think they want to like use him as possession-based midfielder. I think that's quite interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see how that goes in terms of with Trent or even Bradley in the cups in Europa.
100%. Shigz, like I said before, we hopefully are going to be bringing another player in. Like, I think that's what we're all hoping, and we all think that's probably the reality, that we're bringing this guy in, and then we'll bring in another. So, for the price that he's coming in, for the age profile, his experience on at least the international stage, he could become a bit of a utility man for us. And I've said this before, James Milner, for me, he's got the engine room. He can play numerous positions. I've seen that he can play centre-back. He can even play right-back. So even though, obviously, we want more, it is going to be important to have a player like him in the squad, isn't it? For cups, for the Europa League.
Yeah, very much so. Just like you said, to fill the kind of, like a better saying, the Milner role. So it's going to be important for him to bed down, come in for a couple of games of DM, especially in the Europa League as well. So look. The more and more I think about it, I think yesterday was just the initial like, oh really, we're going for this guy. But now it's starting to sink in. Okay, this guy's going to be on the team. It's not bad. We can progress from there. So let's. I hope. I don't know if he's signed in time for Saturday. Would he be eligible for Saturday?
Yeah, the hope that is meant to be, isn't it? Like, I think it's today.
Okay.
Is it? I think they have to be registered by tomorrow, isn't it? I think maybe.
Yeah, I think he'll be the
squad. Well, we'll see.
I don't think
maybe we'll start. Maybe Jones will start in 6.
Jones is
Jones is injured, isn't he? Yeah, that's just so annoying.
Listen, I'm investing heavily in Jones this season, man. I hope he proves me right, because I was in his back for the last season myself. So he seems to realise what he is, and hopefully he can progress. But yeah, good on. Listen, it's done now. Well, it's in the process of being done. Hopefully, Endo can take over the cult role of Origi, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, and I think as soon as people see him unveiled in the Liverpool shirt, and we get all the pictures and video stuff and the content behind him, I think people will start to warm to him, and I do think people will slowly start to be won over by him, especially once he's played his first game in a Liverpool shirt. When people see, what I've read about this guy, how, I don't know, people say this is a cliche with us, but his passion and how much he just wants to win the ball and tackle people. Absolutely. I think people, if he does that for us, will be won over by him. Let's move on to another talking point that a lot of people obviously want to discuss, and we've alluded to it so far, but let's get into it and what we actually know. So what do we know about Cheick Doucoure? I always want to say Abdullah Doucoure, but I should probably not say that because he did go to Everton. But Crystal Palace are bracing themselves for Liverpool to follow up on their interest in Cheick Doucoure. Now, people were asking what that means. Essentially, what that means is we're interested, and we've obviously told Palace that we're interested in him, and Palace are now expecting us to go in for him formally. So, Elliot, what would you make on that if that was the next move, mate?
I think that'd be a brilliant sign of Liverpool. I think he is. This is why I think the Endo one's been like strategically done, because he's the opposite in terms of like he's just a proper destroyer, and I think he'll. People's worry with being in possession, I think that kind of been like dispelled with this time at Lens. Obviously, there's a different quality there. It's a different quality of Palace as well. So betting him paid, of course, just because he's worth or going to be worth a lot of money doesn't mean he's going to come in and rock everyone's world as such. Fabinho took ages. So I expect the same, but not to be honest, I probably expect less time than Fabinho because it's a different league. Whereas Doucoure knows the Premier League and he absolutely bossed Anfield, didn't he, at the 1-1 draw last season? I think.
No,
so yeah, I remember just that game was just awful. But Palace seem to have. I mean, I don't think Palace will have expected Jefferson and them to be their replacement for him. But if Doucoure leaves, he is like literally a ready-made replacement. I know they think they played together in the opening game, but I don't think it's like a massive loss for Palace. I know I think Steve Parish said like it's too less time to bring someone in, but I think Lema can step into the role. I think Palace will be happy to either spend that money with the last week to go or just remain calm and do it in January. So I think I wouldn't say it's a win-win because Palace are losing their best player, but I think Palace will probably be content as long as they get a good sum. And that is the problem for Liverpool side of things, which is always a problem. It's a problem for every team in terms of negotiations. So as long as people don't go overboard, we go just pay the money. Negotiations have got to take place. They want the best deal. So, I mean, I'd say 60, 70 million bracket would be acceptable, and I'd look forward to seeing how well we get on.
Yeah, and Shigz, coming back to you, mate. First of all, I want to get your opinion on the player. Second of all, like Elliot was alluding to there, if we do want this guy, we do have to be quick because there's 2 weeks left. Palace will have a decent amount of money, so they'll need to replace him. We wouldn't have thought Lerma would be. He's a decent player from a relegation side, but Doucoure is far better. So, what are your thoughts on the player, and how important is it now that we just sort of? I know we've got to negotiate, like Elliot says, but just sort of speed things along.
Yeah, no. The couple of times I did see this one player that I have seen play. So a couple of times he's very tenacious in the tackle. The one match I did see him, he did give the ball. I know this is not to be put a down on him, but he did give the ball away a lot. So that needs to be cleaned up a little bit more. But in terms of his work rate, ridiculous. Like he would still be going in. He was kind of vicious in the tackle as well, which was like nice to see. So it should be. They should get this deal wrapped up quickly. Like you said, you don't want other people to get an inkling to be able to sniff in. I think around the 60, 70 mark. I still think it's overpriced, but because of the way the market is, that's the going rate for a DM at the moment. So you have to pay it. And if they want to get this wrapped up quickly, they're just gonna have to negotiate the best price. I think 60, 65 million is a good price for him. Get it done, and then he can embed into the squad ready for the Newcastle game. Because even though Endo is gonna hopefully get sorted out this week, I think we're going to need everybody on deck for that Newcastle game because they're going to get tired. So and Doucoure doesn't need to get up to speed with the speed of the Premiership. With the Bournemouth game, hopefully Endo can get away with because no disrespect to Bournemouth, but they're not on the same level as the Newcastle. So it's going to be important for him to hopefully take that week to get used to the team, get used to how we play. That's considering. Do they know when they're going to put in a bid, or is it still in negotiation?
Nothing yet. I mean, the ITKs are out in full force, and I've seen one of them say today that the bid's gone in, but I ain't trusting any of them bums again, mate, after what I've told this summer. Honestly, we've signed 20 midfielders according to them this summer, so I'm just going to jump out 1 second because the comments have stopped loading again, and it seemed to work last time. So twiddle your thumbs for literally 5 seconds, and I'll be back to react to some of your guys.
Yes. Just a quick question, Elliot. If we do get him, would you have Doucoure, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, or would it be different?
No, I think you'd have to do that because they spend so much money on them, and I mean it's a whole new young midfield, and they'd have to get ready to play with each other and work with each other and learn how each other's play. It just, I think the biggest thing for me is the system. They've got to proper stamp down on whether it'll be a 3-back or 4-3-3.
I've just seen this. That's
Footy Insider. No. Yeah.
There's a reason the account, which shall not be named, that tweeted this out, gave him a tier 3, which is their lowest tier. That's essentially a red circle on TAT. So don't bother listening to that. We'll get into a couple more comments, guys, real quick before we move things on. Let me just scroll up. I stopped seeing your comments ages ago. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, we pay good money for this service, and it's not working today apparently. So might have to get onto them.
Yeah, I haven't seen none of the
fixtures,
comments come through. So
I haven't seen
Yeah,
any of them now. Yeah.
I've got them now. Endo is our last summer signing. Well, if he is, take everything that I've said away and let's all melt down because, yeah, that is insane. I don't think it will be. I think somebody will come in, whether it's Doucoure or
can't
somebody
be.
else. Yeah, that will remain to be seen. Let's have a look. Doucoure is underrated, says Georgie. I think so too. I think obviously everyone was so sold on Caicedo, and for 12 hours or so, it felt like we were in dreamland. You know, it felt like Caicedo was going to be a Liverpool player. It wasn't to be. You've then got to look on the market for who can be the next best one. And Doucoure, I know stats on everything and graphs on everything and these charts that people make to make everything look pretty on everything, but he looks like he's up there with those guys. So, yeah.
Young as well. Young.
Yeah, exactly. If that's who they think. The only thing is, Elliot, which we must remember, I don't know how far they get in this competition, but you know what's coming.
AFCON.
AFCON.
The thing is though, Endo's got...
Endo?
And this is what I thought. And Endo's got a Japanese, Asian tournament, January, February. I know what you're going to say because I've read it, but apparently the captain always goes. Captains, I think Yoshida went when he was the captain. I could get them mixed up, and then someone else.
Is he the captain? Is Enzo the Japanese captain?
Yeah. So, what the common theme is, the captain will always go. And I've seen an article on the Echo basically saying he will go. Whether they know anything more than we do, I don't know, but it would appear that the captain always goes. But I thought, yes, that's smart side, and I'm intrigued to see how he plays. Back up, cheap, nice. When Doucoure, if he signs, goes, and those slots in perfectly. But it doesn't appear that'll be the case. But I don't know the time date. When do you know when AFCON starts? Is it normally?
It's around February, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's where Endo goes. Because
I remember going to the Emirates last 2021 with my brother, and we had Kai Gordon on the wing, and we thought this is going to be a long day, but Diogo and Matip come up clutch, and we win the game. That was the best. I don't think in a way they will top that one, to be honest. That was absolutely sensational.
I think you're right. Both, didn't he?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, one was meant to be offside. Yeah.
Shigz, talk to me about this AFCON thing. Is this why we've signed? I keep wanting to call him Enzo. After Sunday, I wish we had Enzo in our midfield, but Endo. Do you think this is why we look to sign two? But again, if he's going to Japan, it kind of makes it irrelevant. But I don't know.
There you go. Listen, if what Elliot says is true, it's kind of counterproductive because obviously both of them would have to go. Because where's Doucoure from?
Mali.
Mali. Let's hope they don't qualify. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But again, we have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Hopefully, the law of Liverpool. Well, no, the law of Liverpool will never trump your country, so it's more than likely that he would go. But I don't know how many games that would be for because.
Well, I saw that people were predicting Mali to not get out of the groups. So
yeah, I don't think they're rated as one of the best teams. I also think Besiktas and Thiago were also, a thing. So I don't think it'd be too big of a problem.
January.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But you'd hope Besiktas would be because he only had one big injury, didn't he? But it's just got a nurse and back in, and then Thiago's Thiago. But you'd hope so.
Fingers and toes crossed.
Coming through again, man. What is going on with StreamYard? I can see him on my phone. I'm just going to use my phone to shout people out. Jaden67 says, is Besiktas fit? Now, Anfield talk.
He's training though.
Oh, sorry, Shigz, I was just going to meet you there. Yeah. Go on. Is he training?
Him and Thiago are back in training.
Yeah, he was the other day, but this week I've not seen him on any of the training pictures.
Thiago definitely is.
Thiago definitely is. Yeah, they put a video of hugging him.
Yeah.
The Anfield Talk admin, let us know. Is there anything on Besiktas? If you know, I know I'm putting you under the spot there. But Georgie says it's only 4 games. Besiktas will be ready 100%. But this is a huge season for Besiktas.
Yeah, happy days.
We just got to think that the time that he had out has obviously hopefully not stopped his development. and that he can just kick on from where he left off. Because when he left off, I think it's fair to say he was our best midfielder at that point. You know, he comes in, everyone's a bit apprehensive over a kid coming into the team, but he was the best midfielder. And yeah, I think the long-term plan for him is to be the 8, but he can definitely do a job in the 6 for a couple of games every now and again. So yeah, Bajcetic, you'd be wrong to sleep on him. House of the Moon says, are you going to the game, Ben, on Saturday? Unfortunately, I am not. Well, as it stands, I'm not. I'm still going to try because of the new main stand, the Anfield Road. I don't want to get too much into that today because we'll see what happens with that, but it's not looking good at the minute.
Not been great.
And that just makes tickets hard to get now because that's a good 4,000-5,000 seats gone. The additional member sales are only going to have about 1,000 tickets in, if that. So it is a bit of a shame. Obviously, it seems like it's going to be delayed now. That's not been confirmed. But what I did find there is, Elliot, let's look on this. What I did find interesting from their statement, they confirmed that it wouldn't affect the lower. That's all fine. But what they said is we will keep fans updated for the rest of it. And if you're not giving us a sort of time frame, that means it can go on for as long as they want, basically.
I mean, that also just tells me that they don't know as well, which I think they won't, because this has just been sprung upon them today. You know, there was videos of the workers who now just don't have work as well. It's just a massive shambles for everything, and they all walk on out and stuff. So it's not great at all. There's already
you know
a
what?
delay.
Just interrupting you there, mate. I think I did read that it isn't actually to do with the Liverpool work. It's the Fulham job that's made the company.
Oh, right.
Is it? That's what I read. I don't know if it's reliable, but
I didn't see that, but maybe.
Yeah, obviously people blaming the club, and we don't know what's
happening. You don't know. You can't just judge. Yeah. Liverpool bad is a thing, isn't it? You know, just like my God. But I don't think I think it's been sprung upon them. I mean, considering that statement, I don't think they can really do anything about that at all. So,
no, I agree. Yeah, guys. Any final things to say? I mean, we've covered both players, I think, quite well. So, any final words?
No, I think we've covered
it all.
Everything. Yeah, just intrigued to see.
All I'm going to say is I hope Endo proves me wrong. I fully want him to shut me up.
I am intrigued. I'm really interested to see how he gets on. And he's probably won me over the fact he wears a gum shield when he plays. And then Liverpool. Yeah, that's what I see. He wears a gum shield and he plays. So it's like the Warrior thing. I just thought that was quite funny. And then obviously Klopp needs a Japanese player, doesn't he? Because he's won the league. Every time he's won the league, he has a Japanese player in the team. So probably won over with little things like that. Little fun things like that are always cool to have in place, aren't they? So it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, from the top of my head, I think it was Kagawa, Minamino, and now
now Endo.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And Shigz, just on the Japanese players real quick, one thing we know about these guys from watching them in international tournaments, these guys are warriors, and these guys work their ass off, man.
Yeah, the work rate will never be in doubt. It's just the talent and the know-how to be able to kind of start attacks from deep. So it'll be interesting to see. Once I think he'll adapt to the system, the more and more the clips I've seen, a couple of goals that he scored, he'll be able to adapt. But like I said, it was just the initial underwhelmingness of the whole this guy kind of thing. But like I said, get him in with the lads, get him in with the team. He'll be flying into tackles and breaking up play and hopefully helping us beat Newcastle away. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, big up to everyone that's in the comments and everyone that's liked or subscribed. You know, this channel is growing, and we are very close to doing something that has been the aim for a very long time now. So it's all thanks to you guys as well. That is becoming a reality and possibility. So big up to everyone that's tuned in. Obviously, hopefully we'll bring some more transfer news real soon. I do prefer talking about the football, if I'm honest. I think we can. Transfer talk is a bit jarring after a while, but listen, guys.
You and me both, mate. You and me both.
There's only one thing you need to do: subscribe, turn notifications on, and you will never miss a stream. We do match reactions. We've got preview shows. We've got the match reaction for the Bournemouth game on Saturday evening, And then next week, I believe it's Wednesday or Thursday, still to be confirmed, I believe. But we've got a Newcastle fan coming on the show as well to preview that game. So exciting stuff. More content coming out than we've ever done before. At least 2 shows minimum each week, each and every week. That is a promise we can make to you guys. We've got a great panel now. We've got a great group of lads that are all ready to drop the stream. So yeah, show us your support. Stick with us. Subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on. And most of all, like the streams. And we'll see you guys after we've absolutely obliterated Bournemouth yet again. So take care.
Peace.
And